They all go to the bar later. This is clearly, a revolution is not a seizure of power. A revolution is not the nationalization of the commanding heights of the economy under democratic workers' control. These are all things which I hope happen in a revolution. But they are not the revolution. A revolution is fundamentally, and Trotsky put this forward in his sort of masterpiece, History of the Russian Revolution, that a revolution is when the mass of the population starts participating in politics. Politics is, for the vast majority of history, is not done by working people. It is done to working people. It is done by men in suits, by lawyers, by doctors, by accountants and businessmen, the elite. But a revolution is when the mass of the population get up and say, we're sick of the lot of you. It's also done by clerics and priests and mullahs. We're sick of the lot of you. We want to determine our own affairs. And that is the beginning of a revolution. That is why I call what's happening in Iran a revolution. It's why I also call what's happening in Venezuela a revolution. We haven't come to that question yet of the unfortunate statements of Hugo Chavez, but these are revolutionary movements of the people. But there's a difference between the beginning of a revolution and the victory of that revolution. And this revolution, my friends, is not yet victorious, obviously not victorious. And it has gone as far as it can go by just street demonstrations. Because you can get a lot of the street demonstrations, you know, especially the initial ones of millions of people. These were all illegal demonstrations. They showed that nobody supported the present regime. But they did not, but by the very nature, they've stirred up, you know, the calm waters of a pond. And that is why, actually, there was the question of what is the job for socialists in this revolution? And it's to be very skillful. The forces of sort of genuine socialism and Marxism in Iran are still very small relative to the multi-million masses of people. And also this is millions of people who've never been involved in politics before, and will, especially outside of the major cities, will still have a lot of religious prejudices. I use the word prejudices deliberately, sort of a consciousness that will reflect the past and not the future. So it's really important that the socialists on the ground in Iran develop the most revolutionary democratic demands. Demands for an end to repression, for free trade union action, for the right to strike, to a raise in the minimum wage, also, you know, and again, to end to the oppression of women, for a new constitution and constituent assembly. All of these things, in order to reach these the layers of the population which have not been active in politics, to raise them up. But what the end needs is there needs to be a mass working class tendency, a mass working class organisation in Iran that can actually take the power, that can help the working class lead all sections of the population in overthrowing both the mullahs and the Iranian capitalists and the imperialists. So that is sort of the task of what socialists need to do. But it's very important to have an ear of every sector of society and not go too far ahead. And I do not mean for a minute that I should water down our demands. And actually the best tactic to actually overthrow the regime is a general strike of the working class.
ارائه سرنگونی رژیم اعتصاب عمومی طبقه کارگر است.
But it also needs to be combined with the most basic democratic demands that can unite the entire population.
به همراه خواسته‌های